You know the feeling, right? Staring at that blinking cursor on a bright, empty screen. You feel this pressure to write something brilliant, something perfect, right from the very first word. And it can be totally paralyzing. But what if I told you there's a really simple technique to break that paralysis for good? Let's dive in. Seriously, just let that question sink in for a second. What if the whole point of a first draft wasn't about quality at all, but was simply about getting it done? I'm telling you, this one little shift in your mindset is the key. It changes everything about how you approach that blank page. The inner critic. You know, that little voice in your head that questions every single word choice? The one that points out a potential grammar mistake before you've even finished the sentence? That's the one. And look, that critic has a job to do, but later. During the first draft, our only job is to tell it to be quiet, because right now it is the enemy of momentum. So, how do we actually silence that critic? Well, the secret is to stop fighting it and instead unleash a totally different part of your brain. Let's look at the simple solution that makes this all possible. And here it is. It's called fast drafting. And notice, the key word is fast, not good. It's all about setting a timer and forcing yourself to write without stopping to judge or rethink or second-guess anything. The only goal is to get the words down on the page. Here's the fundamental idea, the whole principle behind this. Your brain just can't be a wild, imaginative creator and a careful, critical editor at the exact same time. It's just not wired that way. Trying to do both at once, that's basically the definition of writer's block. So, fast drafting forces you to pick a lane. For now, you are only the creator. This really breaks it down perfectly. Just think of it like you have two different modes, the creator hand and the editor hand. For the first draft, our only job is to let the creator hand go wild. Let it be messy, let it generate a ton of ideas and ignore mistakes. The editor hand will get its turn later on, but for now, it needs to leave the room. Okay, so the theory sounds simple enough, right? But how do we actually put this thing into practice? Let's walk through this step-by-step playbook you can start using like today. It really is this straightforward. Just 4 steps. It's all about creating this little protected bubble where your creator hand can do its thing without any interruptions from your inner critic or, the rest of the world. Let's break each one down. First up, and this is probably the most important, you have to protect your time. This means actually scheduling a specific, dedicated block where writing is the only thing you're doing. And as you're about to see, this block doesn't even have to be that long. And this is the best part. You don't need a whole afternoon free. The key here is just to be realistic. Can you actually focus for 30 minutes? Awesome. Can you only find like 10 minutes between meetings? That's perfect. Any dedicated time is a huge win. Okay, next. Before you even think about starting that timer, you need a super clear target. A vague goal like, I'm going to work on my essay, just won't cut it. You need to know exactly what done looks like for this specific session. And check these out. These are some great, totally realistic examples. If you have a 10-minute sprint, just aim for one solid paragraph. Got half an hour? Go for a full page. The point isn't about hitting some perfect word count. It's about giving yourself a clear finish line to run towards. All right, this step is absolutely non-negotiable. Your creator hand cannot get into a flow state if it's constantly being pulled away by notifications or emails or anything else. This time has to be sacred. So think of this as your pre-flight checklist for focus. Your phone, put it in another room. All those social media tabs on your browser, close them. Let your family or roommates know that you're off limits for a bit. Your goal is to build a little bubble of pure, uninterrupted concentration. And now it's time for the main event. You hit start on the timer, and you just write, and you don't stop. If you can't think of the perfect word, just type blank and keep going. If you misspell something, who cares? Ignore it. The only rule is that your fingers have to keep moving forward. So you follow all those steps, the timer goes off, and you look back at what you've written. And it's probably a mess. Maybe even a little chaotic. And you need to know, right now, that this is a huge victory. Let's talk about why that messy draft is so incredibly powerful. This right here, this is the mantra you need to adopt. Say it with me. The goal is not a perfect draft. The goal is a finished draft, because perfection is the enemy of done. And right now, all you need is something, anything, to work with. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? You can go back and revise and edit all you want, but that is much easier to do once you have a draft. That meticulous editor hand we talked about, it's useless without something to actually edit. This process gives it the clay it needs to start shaping something. I mean, just think about it. Which is a better starting point for your editor hand? A messy 500-word draft full of typos and awkward sentences, or a perfectly empty page? The choice is so obvious. You can fix a messy draft. You can't fix a blank page. So, instead of a summary, let's end this with a challenge. A way for you to put this into action the second this is over. You ready? That's it, just 10. We are not talking about some huge, life-altering commitment here. We're talking about 10 minutes. Anybody can find 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes. Sometime today, find a quiet corner, open a new document, set a timer on your phone, and just follow the steps we laid out. So the only question left is, what are you going to work on? That email you've been putting off? The first paragraph of that report? Maybe a creative idea you've had kicking around? Just pick one thing, set that timer, and give it 10 minutes of messy, imperfect forward momentum. You've got this.